Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Mr. Chuks Machuku joins us next. He's a fellow, Nigerian Institute, or Chartered Institute of Public Administration. He's also a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll just be focusing on the challenges we're facing in this country and what we should be doing to get us out of it. Mr. Koko highlighted quite a lot of things, which he thinks we can really do. But you know, when you sit back and listen to all of these recommendations, several people have said similar things in the same breath, but they keep asking themselves, who's listening to them such that they can implement all of this? Or are we just going to keep waiting on our political class to do this? Because it does appear we've been waiting for almost forever.
That's quite a perplexing issue. My study of illustration, the lecture I gave to the Chartered Institute of Public Administrators of Nigeria, I identified what Ikoku talked about towards the end of his time here. This system of revenue sharing, every month you go, you share revenue, national revenue to all the states of the Federation. So all the states depend on revenue sharing. I said that that is a manifestation of a paradigm, not of productivity, but of consumption. If we understand that paradigms are the things that control what we do, paradigm is where you recede to. And where we recede to is, what is in it for me? What's my own share? That's where corruption flows from. Corruption is a means of taking your own share. You're always looking for your own share. You're not asking, what am I contributing? Now, what am I doing? What's my reward for what I've done? So there are two paradigms, either of productivity or consumption. And in African or third world economies, what takes dominance is the paradigm of consumption. And this is unfortunate for Nigeria because this paradigm has been built into the Nigerian constitution in the form of
But people change constitutions, don't they? It's made for the people, not the people for the constitution.
And that's where we come. We've been talking about restructuring the country. Unfortunately, the present leadership is not, in that direction. The leadership is still the leadership that was born out of this paradigm of consumption or distribution, that the problem is management of distribution. Even it's fighting corruption. It's still seeing, the economic problem is seeing is that of managing distribution. That you are taking more than your share, or we will be losing it along the line. The leadership is not identifying productivity and production. Stimulating now. We talked about it, that what was in there for the populace? The question was, who is galvanizing the populace? In all the measures that have been put in place, emphasis is on public expenditure. I do this, I do that. And public expenditure, at the end of the day, still comes to distributing amenities, distributing patronage around the country. We were going to build road in Kaduna, we will build in the east, we will build. It still comes down to that. It still comes down to distribution.
But he also talks about the fact that he sees, or the states see the federal as their ATM. But there are some who also say, look, politicians see the country as their own ATM.
That's correct.
But what about us, the people? To what extent have we fallen for their divide and rule tactics? If you want to get something or you're asking for something legitimate, they just stereotype you. If you don't belong to a political party, or if you make any comments, they say, oh no, you're supporting that party or that party, without addressing the real issues of development of the country.
We, the people, are also afflicted the same paradigm. Now, I've had to struggle with people on social media. So we put a government in place. Now, we cannot love the government we put in place more than ourselves. We can't start worshipping our own servants. If I put somebody and he's not doing well, I should be able to say, look, you're not doing well in this area or that area. But our people feel that once you do that, you are against the government. So they have this mentality that loyalty or support for the government is like the football fans supporting their teams, whether they know, how to kick
Let me
a ball or
comment
not.
here on the issue of loyalty, because it's very, very instructive here that you've mentioned loyalty. Listening to Mr. Ikoko, I think most Nigerians are on the same page with him, saying that that's the way to go as a nation. And you also started by saying that he hit the nail on the head. Loyalty, when we talk about change for the government, talking about the change agenda, and change begins with me. Now let's break it down and see if perhaps we should start with those in authority. Shouldn't loyalty be to the people and the state, that is the Nigerian state, instead of their own political, should I say, interest?
If we now go back to where we started from. Now, I am in this. This is a country that is run on patronage. If you depend on distribution, in fact, in my lecture then, I made an illustration. I said you could look at a hunter. I called it hunter-gatherer mentality. You could talk about the farmer and then the hunter-gatherer mentality. The hunter goes out there. After about 3 days of laboring in the bush, he comes out with a game. And when he comes back, everybody shares it. And there's nothing left. He has to go back again. Now, in the sharing, and I illustrated that when it comes to the hunter, will have gone to get the game. But when it comes to the sharing, in fact, like the hunter might not have any right. The chief will come, you understand? The elders will come, and they will begin to take first. So the politicians are like the chiefs and the elders. So they determine how it's going to be shared. And they are in for the sharing. Because that's the system that we're running. We're not running a system where reward is based upon production. We're not running a system where you develop an idea, it brings money, and then you get away with your money, and that's what everybody expects. You understand? You will pay your tax in order to run the system, and then you could live the kind of life that you want to live because you have earned it. We don't run that system.
What do you think we should do? Because almost on every issue that you put down there, people are never on the same page.
Yes. People are never on the same. If I really would understand, the difference between Nigerians most of the time is narrow. It's just understanding themselves. Nigerians cooperated, voted out a government, which we have never done before. But having voted in a new government, they continue lampooning the government that they changed and keep on creating alibi for the people that they have put in place to remedy the situation. They keep creating alibi for them. That's a very wrong mentality. You keep on talking about, this person did that, the previous government did that, and you create alibi. Even most educated people